Alright, parents, go ahead and tuck the kids in. PG time is over.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Everything Paranormal Podcast Show 2021 for the year 2021. Happy New Year's to all you fine, wonderful people and all you blabbering idiots that have no brain cells and just a waste of amoeba and sperm. I'm your host, Paramike, and in the deep, dark dungeon of this show, she is the gothic queen. She is the person that still doesn't give a fuck. She is the wonderful and beautiful.
I'm Paralore.
That's right. So she has a lot of stuff. I unfortunately ran out of freaking news stories, which is surprising. So most of the show is going to be her talking, and I'll just put in my POVs when she needs me to.
Yep.
So, enjoy.
Well, we did leave off on misunderstood songs. We didn't even finish that article because there's I don't know how many. Which is a lot of them are still written in the article by Brian Del Pazzo. And we're starting off Royals by Lord. And Lord's spelled like the UK way. Sort of. But it has the E after the D.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Lord or Lord A. I have no idea. Or Lordy. But anywho.
Yeah.
To the naked ear. I don't know whose ear was naked.
I don't want to know. Shit. That's already creepy enough as is now.
Lord or Lord A's 2013 hit Royals. Sounds like it's referring to either real-life royalty, think of British royal family, or American celeb royalty, like the Kardashians.
Oh, hell no.
Hell no!
Them a hoes.
However, the song's name and inspiration came from a different source.
I'm sure it did.
The singer based the lyrics on a 1976 photo of Kansas City Royals Hall of Fame baseball player George Brett signing autographs while in uniform, with the team's name splashed across his chest. The singer explained simply, it was just that word. It's really cool. Not really much of an explanation.
No, definitely not. What the freak?
A singer everybody knows of, Lady Gaga. Poker Face.
Yes.
While it's oblivious on even the first listen to Lady Gaga's Poker Face, was filled with sexual innuendos. It's initially not quite as clear that the song describes a specific sexual experience Lady Gaga had. According to the singer, the song's lyrics detail a time she fantasized about a woman while being intimate with a man.
Kinkage.
The poker face in question being her expression to not allow her male lover to realize what she was really thinking about.
Yikes.
I knew she was kinky.
Yes, speaking of Lady Gaga, I'm going to jump in here on this one.
Go ahead.
I saw something on YouTube. I can't remember what month of last year, since we're out now. She was talking about some type of body function that doesn't work right with her.
Really?
And she's always in pain.
Oh.
Whether she's doing, normal life living, when she's not traveling or doing autographs or meet and greets or Q&As or popping up like on MTV, VH1, shit like that.
Yeah.
She's in constant pain.
Oh, God.
And her own doctors, and she's gone to a lot of them,
Uh-huh.
can't figure out a treatment for her to make her stop being in pain. It's like if
what,
you...
in her nether regions?
No. Her whole body.
Oh, really?
Yes, her whole body.
Well, she does a lot of, a lot of dance moves in her music.
No. She had this since birth.
Really?
Yes. Before she got into the music industry, she's had this type of body disease since she was born.
Oh, Jesus.
But none of the doctors can figure out what it is.
Could be psoriasis.
It's not that.
Really?
It's something that I don't think it's even in the medical dictionary. But, you know, she puts on a great show.
Oh,
I
yeah.
give her that. But if you look at certain points in her videos, you can see her eyes squint in pain at certain points. But she continues pushing on.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow.
Well, shit. Michael Jackson was in a lot of pain years later.
Yeah, but
my guess is because a lot of the dance moves that he did.
Yeah, but he didn't have what Lady Gaga has since she was born.
No.
So it's like, holy crap. So it's like, she wants to be cured. She's young, but the doctors can't figure out what to do for her. Just like when she was, like one of her other videos where she's laying down, it's raining on her. She got like a knife in her leg. She got a couple other things around her body parts.
Yeah.
She's got this pink and black, I don't know, bodysuit, bathing suit, something. But it's like in the outer space part.
Okay.
And she's laying there like she fell off of a building. How people always land like this.
Yeah.
You get the leg bent one way.
Yeah.
The other one's all crooked. Get the hand up here and you get the other one like this.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, you can see her lips move in pain.
Yeah.
And her eyes just like kind of like bulge up a bit so she can get ready and control the pain.
Yeah.
But she can't do it. But she does it anyways. That's a little tidbit I've been seeing through her videos through YouTube and her interviews. Even when she's just like sit down on a nice, soft, comfy chair. I mean, this thing could be as soft can be.
Yeah.
She's still in pain, and you can see it.
Okay. Okay. Again, here we go to Green Day. Wake Me Up When September Ends. I've heard that song once in a while on Laser 99.3 and other music rock stations. Green Day's Wake Me Up When September Ends was an ode to singer Billy Joe Armstrong's father, who passed when the singer was 7 years old. Hence the song's opening line, however, due to its placement as the 11th track on the band's heavily 9/11 influenced American Idiot album, plus the Iraq War themed video, continues to lead many to believe that the song is political in meaning to this day. Let's see. And I think that's it. No. Hold on. Yep, for once that's it. Okay, we finished that one. Now, let's see. We're going to definition.org.
That's a weird name for a website.
Oh shit. Give me a few minutes. I'm trying to get rid of all these fucking ads. There we go. Rare Titanic photos will give you goosebumps. By Melanie Weir. And if nobody knows what the fuck the Titanic is, you seriously need to go back in your history. I mean, shit, kids of today know what the Titanic is. My son, my oldest son, who's 19, told me he had to do a report on it when he was 17. He didn't tell me if it was for English or if it was for history, but I think it was history. And he didn't quite understand it. I said, okay. What question? Who the hell's your history teacher? He goes, I don't know, but she's stupid. That gives me a lot of fucking meaning, bro. A lot of meaning, sweetie. He goes, I don't really pay attention to what comes out of her mouth. Okay, that could be quite a few about a lot of teachers in that school. He goes, what about the teacher that you had? You're talking about Mr. LaForge? He retired. He was doing like part-time teaching at a college I went to. After that, he retired. He started ghost hunting for a living. How the fuck he did that, I have no idea. But anywho, I told him, okay, if you Google the Titanic, you're not really gonna get the actual shit. Or, better yet, before Google, go to what's called the library. Ask the person behind the desk, where books on the Titanic are. And go do your research there. To start it off. Since he had to do a whole fucking book report on it. Then, you get maybe some little tidbits from Google on it. But if you see one that says Titanic 2, that doesn't mean the stupid ass movie. And he goes, yeah, Grandpa Doug has that movie. He's an idiot. He was watching a movie he had no idea what the backstory was on. It was a freaking 90s version of freaking Romeo and Juliet. Just Romeo was a poor fuck and Juliet was a rich bitch.
That's putting it mildly.
He goes, according to him, the way my son put it, well, Grandpa said I could get a lot of understanding on the movie. Yeah. When the iceberg hits. That's the only part that makes sense. That shows an entertainment base value of what happened to the boat. And survivors that didn't survive. That's what you see. You only read on it. James Cameron, the director of it, was trying to bring out the effects of it, of what happened when the boat hit the iceberg, how it broke in half, and then sank, and fully sank. That is basically what happened to the boat, but in between the climax of the boat fully sinking, there was a little bit of too much added drama. He goes, didn't Zach I go, he didn't do the Titanic, sweetie. He just did a freaking museum based on the Titanic. There's a couple states that have a Titanic museum. He's like, oh, you know what season that was? You seriously want me to look into what I have for seasons to figure out which season has it? He just did a Titanic museum. You can't investigate the Titanic. It's on the freaking bottom of the ocean, rusted to hell.
And in billions and billions of pieces. That's for sure.
Huh?
And in billions and billions of pieces, that's for sure.
I said, but go to the library, get the books on the Titanic. Do not copy infringe on what you're reading. Just read the books or the chapters to get the idea. And then write it out. Trust me, teachers are infamous for checking to see if someone's copying a book.
They're Nazis!
Yeah, shockingly, he listened to me. Not really shocking. I'm his mother. Did not listen to, my stepfather, Doug. At all. I mean, he did try to show Davey, like, the iceberg hitting the boat, or more like the guy saying the iceberg, or iceberg right ahead. Shut up, I know that wasn't UK language.
Iceberg ahead.
To when the boat sank. He looked at it, not knowing about the damn movie, but said, okay, that's a little fabricated. Looks a little too fabricated. And he did make a point. The iceberg hits the fucking ship, or the ship hits the iceberg about 15 after 12 in the morning. Just about.
Hell, both of them hit each other. Shit. The driver was drunk.
Well, figure, iron on a boat does not move as quick as you want it to. Especially if you're shoveling coal into it. From the guy saying his line to the iceberg hitting it, he understood that part. The leading up to it breaking in half, he said was a little too fabricated. I go, no, it's the premise of what people imagine what was going on in people's heads back then. But I'm pretty sure there was a whole lot of cussing than what you would have heard on the freaking movie. He goes, yeah, the guy who ended up becoming a ping pong ball, was that something actual that happened, or was that fabricated? Which one? There's one that hits the freaking propeller, and one that hit several pipes on the way down. He goes, either or. That, I don't know. It could be up in the air for that. If you can't find anything about the one or two guys hitting, like, specific things in the boat on the way down, then it's fabricated.
That's a good point. I never thought about that. I never would have thought about that.
We know how prude Doug is, right? He actually wanted Davey to watch the sex scene. Even though there wasn't really a whole lot of sex in it, it was just a freaking fogged up car. And,
call it a sex scene.
Huh?
If you want to call it a sex scene.
I go, sweetie, no. That's not a sex scene. They're just showing an aftermath of what happens when you have sex in a fucking car. With the windows rolled up. In the backseat. That's not sex. You want to see someone having sex? Go watch Showgirls. if you see that movie,
I would even put his eyeballs and his brain on that damn show. What the hell?
I go, better idea. You want to get, I go, the way I see it, sex scenes, the best ones are when they're silhouetted. You only see the shadows, but you can get the idea. You want to see a fucking sex scene? Go watch Bride of Chucky. Because he has a fucking sex scene in that goddamn movie. And kind of watch how the silhouette is of the two dolls. That symbolizes what sex is. And I'm surprised you weren't learned that in freaking sex education. He goes, Ma, I don't think I ever took that. I go, it's part of biology, David. He goes, oh. He goes, I know I slept through one, I just don't know what one. Might have been the sex one. That's usually what turns male students off. Because they think they know what sex is, and they don't. He goes, wait, wouldn't Grandpa Doug get mad if I was watching Chucky? You say he doesn't give a shit. Let's see what happens. Don't hear anything for about 3 weeks. One was probably working on the report he had to do. And two, he also had to do, like, a paper for sex ed. Basically, like, what's the difference between physical sex and what you see in a movie? Both papers he wrote, he got fucking A on. The sex education, he got an A+ on. I went, that means you're far better than your fucking peers. If you get an A+ on a paper for sex.
Definitely.
He's like, I go, so what's the verdict? I thought you got grounded. He goes, no. He didn't say one word about it. He just looked at the TV and walked out the other room. Okay, either hell has frozen over or he just said to hell with it. Now, if I was in the room, guarantee he would start yelling at me. Because you're watching a horror film. And one of them happens to be my favorite. He's like, how many horror films do you like, Ma? There's quite a few I like. There's only very, very few that are my favorites. If I have a horror movie collection, that means it's one of my favorites. If I don't, it's a eh. And my son, he didn't like it either. And I mean the actual movie, not the TV version. He didn't even know what fucking it was. I mean, he was 18. Actually, first time he saw the movie It, since it came out in 2017, I think he was about 16, 17 years old. I think. Watch that in theaters with his girlfriend. He was not carded, which is a shock. You can't go anywhere if it says you have to be a specific age, you get fucking carded. Which is understandable. But if you're older than that age, you still get fucking carded. He didn't get carded. I go, what the fuck did you do? Walk in there with a fucking goatee? That's how the males in my family got through that shit. Without getting carded. We'll just grow a goatee. He goes, no. Just walked right in it. Okay, what did you think of it? He goes, what? I didn't know what the fuck it was. I mean, the backstory premise was really boring. Okay. Let me try to school you. The movie It is a film reboot of the TV movie. That Tim Curry, one of the greatest actors of all time in my opinion, played It, Pennywise. It is Pennywise. Pennywise is basically it's hard to explain it, but he's based on fears of kids. Or what they're afraid of. That's basically what it is. Even though, after a while, watching through it, you see it's something of an alien. But he's like, it wasn't even that scary though. It gave me a headache. He goes, I don't know what drunk feels like, but I felt drunk walking out of that damn thing. You ain't the only one, sweetie. I felt drunk too. I thought I was at one of my college keg parties. Before I drank. The second half of it, he didn't like it. One, he thought it was really bad special effects. I went, okay.
I would agree with him just by looking at the trailers and everything.
Yeah, I would have let you seen it because there was a lot of flashing in it. Just by specific camera angles. And, he got to the end where, you know, Pennywise gets killed by a fucking rock with a slingshot. And he thought it was like the most corniest fucking death scene of a horror villain he's ever seen. I go, okay, now with you saying that, if you could find it, go watch the original. And tell me if there's a difference. Even though one's for TV, one was an actual film. He's like, it's a Stephen King thing, right? Yeah, it was an actual book before it became a TV movie. He's like, okay. Went and watched the original with Tim Curry. He liked the original better than the reboot. And said, like, you know, yeah, the ending did have, like, shitty graphics. But the graphics in the original was better than the reboot. In his opinion. I went, guess what? You just, think you might have, if you go to college, which he is in, if you take up film classes, and you get that fucking right, I would be shocked if you didn't walk out with a 4.0. Out of that class alone. He's like, 4.0's, an A, right? Yeah, I don't know how they fucking grade that shit either.
A 4.0 is a GPA. That's not a grade.
I know that, but
That just tells you how smart you are. And if you're college material.
he goes, and, you know, he did ask, I mean, before I finish start slideshow, moral of the story is, if you know something's better, or something stupid, and you go to teach your child or guardian of a child, or you're a guardian of the child, and you want to teach them, like, what's better or what's not when it comes to film, you You got reboots and you got original. If they see a reboot, you show the original. Or you do vice versa. Original first, then the reboot. And let them decide. If they agree with you, you're doing something right. If they don't agree with you, that means you need to go back to school. He tried that with me once when it came to freaking Batman. In his mind, he thought Christian Bale was the better one. I said, correction. The actual movie, 1989, was Michael Keaton. He's actually the better one. He kickstarted the fucking movie franchise. Not the 1960-something one, but the actual one.
1966.
He goes, okay. He said, he goes, okay. Heath Ledger's, his opinion, the best Joker. Hey, David, who do you think was Joker in the main movie? The, Heath Ledger's uncle. He's like, Jack Nicholson is his uncle? Yeah. It didn't come out till after the guy died. He's like, yeah, but that's the weird thing I don't get. Sweetie, the way I can explain it, if you're doing a horror villain, or if you're doing a villain of DC, the person that gets cast that role, in their mind mentally, they better fucking show it. Nobody knows what the hell Heath Ledger was doing, but his performance for it worked. I mean, that was actually the first time I ever saw Joker cross-dress. He's like, I go, there's 2 movies that has Joker in it. There's the first one, and the Dark Knight. Those are the 2 movies that have Joker in it before Suicide Squad came out. Now, if you look at Jack Nicholson, you could kind of tell by the time that movie was done, he wasn't going to have a normal life for an actor. And you could blame that on paparazzi. He's like, wait, don't wrestlers have that problem? Not really.
Some do.
Some do, but it depends on who the wrestler is. Now, if you're The Rock, yeah, that's going to go without question.
And John Cena, definitely without question.
Fuck that ass hat. The reason I say that, he's from our hometown, and I really could give 2 shits. Just because you're from someone's hometown doesn't mean you're a fan. If you don't believe me, go watch some old wrestling shows, but they're in freaking Boston. He gets booed out of the fucking building. And I think it's for the actually kind of put a point. He even said he became a Yankees fan. That's where that hit. I didn't like it before he said it. One, he was basically, the way I saw it, he was Vince McMahon's version of freaking Vanilla Ice. I think. With the rap. Or not Vanilla Ice, but
Close enough.
the other one, Eminem. He thought he was like their version of Eminem. Anyway, the RMS Titanic, one of the 3 one of the three Olympic class ocean liners, built around the turn of the century, was marketed for her maiden voyage as the Unsinkable. She was built using the latest technologies back then, including steel rivets, which were more durable than their iron counterparts. Apparently not. People from all walks of life, poor immigrants, or to the rich and famous elite, bought tickets for the luxury ship's maiden voyage. Some were headed for a new life in America. Others were returning home from business. Others were seeking a fun maritime vacation. Yeah, that was a big vacation, alright. On the evening of April 14th, 1912, all of these plans came to a screeching halt when the Titanic, quote, the Unsinkable, struck an iceberg and sank in under 3 hours. There is no record of these events beyond the stories of survivors. But the photos I'm about to explain here could give one an idea of what it must have been like to be aboard the doomed ship. Let's see. Rare Titanic photos. I'll try to explain it, but if I can't, hopefully Mike can put the photos up on our page. Right there?
Yeah, as long as you email me the link.
Hang on.
For the photos.
Hopefully if I can do the slide... let's see. Oh, wait, yeah. There's a picture, but it explains what the pictures are. She was called Titanic for a reason. Okay, let's see what that reason is, shall we? Or was. The RMS Titanic was the biggest passenger vessel in the world when it was revealed in 1912. At 882 feet in length. That's a big bitch. 175 feet in height. Okay, so with those, basically means a freaking Megalodon is bigger. Which is actually a pretty good movie too. And 46,328 tons in weight. Big bitch and a heavy bitch. There was simply nothing like it. The ship's massive size added to its almost mythical aura and made the ship sinking even more shocking. Not all that shocking. Oh, I love this one. It could have been worse. I love this description. Oh, it could have been worse. The sinking of the Titanic was one of the greatest tragedies in modern history, with only 712 survivors. Out of the 2,224 on board. While the loss of life was widely mourned and had gone down in history, the tragedy could have actually been much greater. However, as Titanic was well under capacity for her maiden voyage, her maximum capacity was actually 327. So you mean to tell me it was about half? Okay. First class died first. I like that description. Not. Many of the passengers on the ship were third-class families looking to start new lives in America. These passengers' quarters were towards the bottom of the ship, basically the shit ones. and were among the first to be flooded. There were gates in the stairwells that were locked to keep third class separate from the others. That was actually right in the James Cameron's version. But the stewards didn't have time to open all of the gates and amidst the chaos, many of these passengers became trapped below decks and drowned. Okay. Ticket prices were unthinkably high back then.
Ridiculously high, you mean?
Hold on. As a luxury passenger vessel, the ticket price for Titanic was high. First class tickets ranged from $30 to $4,350. That's anywhere from $775 to $112,000 today. Second class tickets was between $12 and $60. For today, it would range about $300 to $1,500. And third class tickets were between $8 and $40. Today, $200 to $1,100. Even when taking inflation into account, those are some pricey tickets. Look at the tickets for cruise lines now. They're actually right. Let's see. Oh, here's something I was actually right on, but my English teacher tried to call me wrong on it. Disaster for it was predicted. And it was also, actually, the teacher I had was the same that Richie had. He didn't like him either. 14 years before Titanic's maiden voyage, Arthur Morgan Robertson wrote a novel called The Wreck of the Titan, more futilely, which was about the largest ship in the world meeting disaster. The ship in the fictional story was called the Titan. Its measurements were nearly identical to the Titanic, as were the speeds they were going when they met disaster. In other words, when they hit the fucking brick of ice. Also, both struck an iceberg on the starboard side, which means, if some layman terms, it means the front. They also both sank in April, at the exact same location, with as few lifeboats as the law allowed. Though people credit him with clairvoyance. Robertson claimed that he simply had an extensive knowledge of ships and sailing. Okay, I've heard of this motherfucker, and he was a crackpot. But if a book comes out about a shipwreck and it actually is the Titanic, chances are, yeah, there is something there. But I don't think the guy was going to come out with it. Okay. RMS stands for something you wouldn't expect. Let's find out what that means. At the time of Titanic's voyage, all British ships carried the letters RMS, which stood for Royal Mail Ship. The term dates back to 1840, when only the fastest and most reliable ships were contracted by the British government to carry mail. The RMS prefix came to be known as a sign of distinction and quality. I don't know about the distinction and quality part. Oh, here we go. The crew was dutifully to a fault. And that means basically what they did for a living, I think. There were 908 crew members on board the Titanic. A higher percentage of the crew members died than any group aside from second and third class men. Many of them were lost as the boiler rooms flooded in the initial impact. Others were killed trying to save passengers from below decks. All 5 postmen died trying to save the mail they have been charged to protect. Okay, if you're a crew member, and one of your job titles is to save mail, and the ship fucking sinking, I don't know about anybody out there listening, but me, fuck you, I'm going. You can arrest me for it later, but my life's more important than somebody's fucking mail. What do you think?
Yeah, but just the letters RMS. It seems to me really sexist.
Why? Because it was basically for royalty mail.
Yeah, just males. No, but the ship had freaking females on it. If that was the case, then they should have named it RMFS.
Which would be what?
Royal males, females, and whatever the S stood for.
Many of the men knew they would not survive. Okay, if the men on it knew they weren't gonna fucking survive the first voyage, chances are you keep your ass home. John Jacob Astor IV, which some people might have heard of, was the wealthiest passenger on board. He had an estimated net worth of $85 million back then. That's approximately $2 billion today. In other words, if this guy survived, his legacy would have been more than what Donald Trump has. I don't give a shit if you like him, kiss my fucking white ass. I'm tired of bullshit like him. He was traveling with his pregnant wife, who he helped load onto a lifeboat through a side window. He said to her, "The sea is calm. You'll be alright. You're in good hands. I'll meet you in the morning." Those were his last words to her. He died when the ship sank. That's one way of saying, honey, I ain't making it, but you will.
Bitch, you're on your own.
But bitch,
I'm going down with the ship.
But she had his money, though. So she was actually well taken care of.
Gold digging whores.
Many more also went down. Many famous people purchased tickets for the journey, but did not actually sail. These included Hershey's chocolate founder, Milton S. Hershey, pioneering inventor, I
wonder if he had the Hershey squirts when he knew the ship was going down. Oh, Hershey squirted in my pants.
Hey. Don't fuck with my candy bar. I know I'm going to end up butchering this one. Guglielmo Marconi, and J.P. Morgan. The American bacon and steel magnate. It's safe to say the future of the 20th century may have been very different with these men on board. Ya think? The ship ran on coal fuel. Well, no shit. It didn't run on gas. Titanic needed over 600 tons of coal per day to keep the enormous engines powered, so it left Southampton, in England, with over 6,000 tons of coal. That coal was shoveled into large boilers that had 3 furnaces. The employees, called firemen, shoveled coal into the furnaces in extremely hot and dirty conditions. Many of these men were among the first to die, as the doors they worked in flooded, and airtight doors automatically sealed in an attempt to keep the rest from the ship from flooding. Well, that didn't go as planned, though, did it? Titanic had 4 stacks. I think I pretty just heard everyone go, huh?
What the fuck are stacks?
Stacks is what's called when a cruise ship has fucking 4 things sticking up in the fucking air for the fucking smoke to come out of. Where the engine room is. Or engine rooms. Titanic had 4 large funnels, also known as stacks. The engines of the ship ventilated the smoke through these funnels. 3 of them worked as smokestacks, and 1 as an air vent. When the boiler rooms began to take on water, there was a huge worry that the cold seawater hitting the warm steam stored in the funnels could cause them to explode. In an attempt to prevent this, the firemen and engineers had to quickly vent as much steam as possible from the stacks. What the fuck's wrong with that picture?
Everything.
None of the funnels fucking exploded. Many of the crew weren't sailors. Here's something new that people might not have known. Waiters, waitresses, and maids were called stewards on the Titanic. Out of the 421 stewards on the ship, only 60 survived, and 48 of them were women. Pictured above it, picture with this one is Stewart Thomas Whiteley, whose leg was broken by a piece of fallen debris as he boarded a lifeboat. Ow. Another stewardess, Violet Jessop, I think, had been a Titanic's sister ship, the RMS Olympic, when she collided with a British warship the year before. She survived that, the Titanic disaster, and the sinking of their other sister ship, the Britannic, 4 years later. She became known as Miss Unsinkable.
Sounds like a bad sex position.
And I think that's the role that Kathy Bates played. Okay. Here's some shit on the captain that people didn't know already. The captain did not make the tough call. And just by his picture, he looked like he was fucking drinking. On the night of the sinking, the Titanic captain Edward J. Smith had retired for the evening, leaving First Officer William McMaster Murdoch in charge. When Murdoch received warning of the iceberg, he commanded that the ship turn immediately and the engines stopped. Unfortunately, it was already too late. Due to the massive size of the boat, It didn't turn in time to avoid the collision, and the starboard side struck the iceberg. No shit! You look at the fucking front end of that bitch. You know for a fact that thing ain't gonna fucking turn all the way. Automatically. It's not. Okay. There were only seconds to it until impact. Now what that means, the iceberg was spotted by the lookout guy, Frederick Fleet, who in the episode where Zach Bagans investigated the museum of the Titanic, and they had the guy's picture. Only about a minute before Titanic hit it. With the time it took to relay the message, officers at the bridge had only about 30 seconds to decide what to do, leaving them open to over a century of second guessing. Oh my god. As it would happen, Fleet survived that night, but sadly suffered from depression for the remainder of his life, likely due to the tragedy of the sinking. Ooh, God. The guy committed suicide in January 1965. Well, you can't blame the guy. It's not his fault. It's the idiots he was working for. Oh God. The captain was one of the best. That's what...
Captain was a fucking alcoholic! Motherfucker could have steered a ship and find his own dick!
Edward J. Smith, the captain of the Titanic, had a long and successful career with the White Star Line. Having been transferred from Titanic's sister ship, the RMS Olympic, especially for this maiden voyage, his last words to the crew were, "Well, boys, do your best for the women and children and look out for yourself." Smith was planning on retiring after the voyage. Oh, he retired alright. No. No, he went down with the ship. Okay. Here's another theory that I was right on. Sorry, Miss LaForge. Not. There were several warnings of ice from other ships. So they were fucking warned. Don't go this direction, that's where the fucking ice is. Titanic was warned about flooding sea ice several times throughout the day leading up to the disaster. Let me repeat that again. Titanic was warned. Basically, people operating the Titanic were warned about floating sea ice, which means icebergs, several times throughout that day leading up to the disaster. So they were fucking told, don't go in this direction. That's where the fucking ice is. Several ships had reported field and pack ice and had passed the messages on to Titanic. Oh, I love this one. I love this explanation. But because the radio operators had been dealing with a backlog of passenger messages from the previous day, only 2 of the 6 received made it to the bridge. Just 9 minutes before the collision, the SS Californian had signaled that it had halted for the night in a field of ice. Tragically, radio operator Jack Phillips cut them off and signaled back that he was busy transcribing passengers' messages. That's what happens when you hire assholes that deal with the lines. They don't give a shit. there were no binoculars in the crow's nest.
Shocking.
Now, I just heard some people go, what? What I mean by that, here's the description. Due to a mix-up at the Southampton port, shocking, there were no binoculars in the crow's nest. This didn't matter much, however, given how dark of the night it was. Nope. Though it was clear, there was no moon, and the water was incredibly smooth and calm, making it impossible to distinguish whether waves were washing up against obstacles ahead. However, crewman Frederick Fleet, who spotted the iceberg later, testified at the investigation hearings that had he been issued binoculars. Here's what he said to that one. We could have seen it, the iceberg, a bit sooner. Well, enough to get out of the way. In other words, if you're in a fucking crow's nest on a ship and you don't have binoculars, you're not going to see what the fuck's 10 feet in front of you. You got binoculars, you see it, but in the binoculars, you're only thinking it's farther. And I learned that from one of my dad's uncles, who was actually a vet.
I guess stupidity, like we see today, really existed from back then. And somehow that disease can't transfer to us.
Oh, Paramike, come here. This is, I'm showing Paramike the actual route. This is where it started. Here's where they went into. Queenstown, right here. All the way here was supposed to have been where they were supposed to hit.
And the destination was New York.
Yep. They had already sold tickets for the return voyage.
That never happened!
Before Titanic's journey across the Atlantic began, she docked in 2 different boarding spots. Cherbourg, France, and Queenstown, Ireland. She was supposed to make a stop in Manhattan to allow first and second class passengers to disembark, and then continue to Ellis Island so third class passengers could go through immigration. Titanic had a return trip scheduled to leave New York on April 20th. And several more scheduled through the year up to December 28th. Well, we know that didn't happen. A record-setting sinking. Oh, I love that one. Please. You have to have the freaking 1912s with the kids in the fucking, with the newspapers in the street. That's one thing I didn't like. I don't like, period. Once Titanic hit the iceberg, it took 2 hours and 40 minutes for the entire ship to sink. Even though it's, to help the sinking, it split! Because it was too fucking heavy. Ships in the past that had met that same fate took closer to 12 hours to fully submerge. If Titanic had taken that long, would have been arrived in plenty of time, and the Carpathia arrived on the scene at around 4 a.m. For once, I got nothing. The iceberg stayed afloat nearby. And I'm looking at a picture of the goddamn thing after the boat hit it. Paramike, come here. You see the fucking crater the damn boat left.
Oh, yeah. Looks like something from medieval times.
The day after Titanic sank, a steward on another ship took an ominous photo of a large iceberg. This photo, showing the clear black mark on the side of the berg, served as a chilling reminder of what happened the day before. Just basically also evidence to prove that, yeah, that's actually what hit it. The youngest passenger became famous. Oh, it's just a kid? Elizabeth Gladys Melvina Dean. Nope. Titanic's youngest surviving passenger was only 9 months old when she boarded the ship with her mother, father, and her older brother, Bertram. She escaped with her mother and brother, but her father died in the sinking. Her family was supposed to be moving to America, but with the death of her husband, Gladys' mother decided to move back to Southampton. Melvina was described as being the darling of the ship the whole way back to England. Okay, there are no survivors left. What that means, Malvina, the last living survivor of the Titanic wreck, until she died in 2009, at the age of 97. After she died, she was cremated. Her ashes were scattered from the docks in Southampton, where she boarded Titanic with her family as a baby. How about... Oh, well, yeah. I was about to say, why didn't you just scatter the ashes where the ship sank? Titanic's Eateries. That sounds really nasty. On the B deck of the ship, a la carte restaurant, was basically how it says, was for first class passengers only. Between this, the other cafe on board, and the regular dining hall, the first class passengers had plenty of interesting meal options while on board. A la carte was owned by an Italian businessman named Luigi Gatti, who died on Titanic. Sorry, the last name kind of got me. Mario wasn't with him. Dude, in fact,
Hey, Mario, where the fuck are you, you fat posado bastard?
all of the restaurant's full staff of 66 people, only one male clerk and two female cashiers survived. She was modeled after the Ritz Hotel, meaning the hall. Rumor has it that Titanic's luxurious interior was inspired by the world-renowned Ritz Hotel in London. It featured a grand staircase, squash courts, whatever the fuck that means, a swimming pool, and a state-of-the-art gym. Okay? There were also several lounges, reading rooms. They had fucking reading rooms. And smoking rooms. Which was designed to be the absolute height of luxury. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the orchestra. The dumbasses on the fucking ship. I understand they went out what they wanted to do, but come on. If I was one of them, I'd be like, okay, see you. Played happy tunes. Okay. Okay. Okay, as seen in the movie with Leo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, her fat ass had to take the goddamn door. Exactly how Dave Schrader said it.
I ain't knocking that.
The orchestra played music during the sinking. They were trying their hardest to console the passengers. Most of the time, they weren't playing sad, mournful music. That would be seen as a bad omen. It would only create more panic. Instead, they played ragtime and upbeat dance music.
Like the iceberg wasn't panic enough? They had to play... Da, 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 da. Really? I would have been turning around and like... Dun, 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 dun.
Only in the end, when doom was certain, did they begin to play hymns at the request of stranded passengers. There's debate to this day as to what the band's final song was. There weren't enough rafts for everyone. Many lives could have been saved if lifeboats had been taken more seriously. To begin with, there were only 20 rafts. Only enough to accommodate about a third of the ship's capacity. She had room for 64, but the White Star Line wanted uninterrupted views of the ocean, and rafts at the time were only meant to ferry passengers from one ship to a rescuing ship. A situation where the ship sank in just under 3 hours was unimaginable. The crew was also not properly trained with the boats. They only had one. They ran one drill, and even then, most of the crew did not know their intended positions. Many have said that even if the boat had all 64 boats, if the ship had all 64 boats, it's doubtful they would have been all been successful launch because of the lack of training. Oh, just like today, you get told training. Oh yeah, here's a week. Oh no, wait, here's 3 days. It happened to my son a couple of times. Now he works for Amazon. But he likes it. And he does get paid pretty good. Many were never found.
Well, that's not...
No fucking shit, Melanie! 8 ships were used to search and collect the dead bodies from the Atlantic. Many of the bodies were unidentifiable and received burials at sea. Some were not found until a month later, as was the case with the bodies left floating in collapsible boat A. Okay. Which were found by the RMS Oceanic. Only 1/3 of the bodies were ever recovered. In other words, they just sank, or they became shark food. I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm just saying. Now, everybody already knows this shit. The ship didn't stay intact. I said it quite a few explanations ago. It snapped in half.
Like a fucking twig.
Experts believe that it only took 15 minutes for the Titanic to take its final resting place on the ocean floor after it sank below the surface. It sank so quickly that it dug large holes into the seafloor where it landed. The force of the impact caused the decks to collapse on top of one another, further can-paking the wreck onto the seabed. After it snapped in half and fully sank, that's what happened. The wreck took 73 years to find. Like I said the last episode, they have equipment to look for fucking squid, or where light doesn't reach in the ocean. And it took fucking God knows how many years to find the goddamn bird, to find the fucking thing.
But yet they had a trajectory in the ship manifest of the direction that the ship was taking. And it takes 35 years for these morons to find a goddamn ship.
Yeah. Since the wreckage of Titanic was so deep in the ocean, that's what she said, it took a long time to find it. This difficulty was compounded by the fact that inaccurate coordinates of its location were provided before it sank. So scientists, historians, and divers were looking for it for decades. And then because of the payday, you find the Titanic or any part of it, there's a big payday. It was found finally in 1985 by Robert Ballard to great notoriety.
What a name.
A ticket for the Titanic is still expensive. I don't know what the fuck that means. Hold on, let's see. What many people don't know is that you can actually visit Titanic on the ocean floor. It's decomposing somewhat quickly now, so it won't be there forever. And you can only go if you have pretty deep pockets. A ticket to take a private party down to the wreckage costs $59,000 a person.
Fuck you!
Anyone rich enough can take the plunge through a private company called Deep Ocean Expeditions. I think you were listening to an interview that Chris Jericho did, and he was asked that question. What did you say? Fuck no.
No, that was you, not me.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Paramike tunes out when Chris is on. Usually, sometimes.
I was actually listening to Dan Aykroyd's documentary.
You were what?
Listening to Dan Aykroyd's documentary.
Oh,
at the time.
And I'm listening to Chris. He's given once in a while. Yeah, I'll still watch here and there of wrestling and stuff like that. I mean, shit. I was one. But every time I do, I get that urge to say fuck what my back doctor says and try to go back in. Due to the fact the injury wasn't my fault. And I was listening to an interview Chris was doing about his CD Judas. It's when he first started wrestling for AEW. The interviewer asked him if he heard about rumors about the Titanic being rebuilt and going on the same fucking voyage that it went down on. Chris said, you know what, I've heard of it, but it's a little too soon to say. And of course, instead of listening to that as an answer because the interviewer asked if he would go on it to be a part of new history. He's a history buff, but if it involves him, he's like kind of like the first one on it. He goes, rebuilding the ship is one thing, but it went down the first time. They build it, and do the same voyage, what makes people think it ain't gonna happen again. That's what's called bad omens. If it went down the first time, it's gonna happen a second time. So, fuck no, I would not go on it. I have my own cruise.
That's why I don't like boats, and I don't like planes!
You went on Dad's boat a couple of times.
Yeah, that's because the damn thing wasn't moving. When the thing started moving, I jumped ship. And I told him, go fuck yourself, you fat bastard.
The first time when we all took a day off, and we were in West Hell. He took his yacht out and wanted to take you fishing.
Yeah, I know. And I jumped off the damn boat when it started leaving the docks. I'm like, fuck you, you fat guinea.
You went back to it, though.
Yeah, when the damn thing was docked and not moving again.
And the interviewer even said, well, there's a way for, because Chris is somewhat of a history buff, somewhat, and said, would you go on an expedition to see it? To actually see what's left of it? And he said, he's a believer in the paranormal and stuff that isn't explained. And he said, if I did, it would be very eerie. Basically, he's not an empath, but he could imagine the energy that he would feel. Me, I would probably freaking have collapsed. It did happen a few times when it came to over avert energy. And the interviewer said, the price, as an example, the price is a little bit up there, about 59 grand. Chris, as many jobs as he has, what he has his hand in, and he gets paid to do. He has a wife, he has 3 kids, he has pets, a couple of dogs and a couple of cats. He has money. And he stated, yeah, I have money. But I'm not one of those rich types that will just throw it around. He conserves it. When he's with his family and thinks, let's go on vacation, he takes his family on vacation. He doesn't go to fucking Disney World. Because he even says that's fucking bullshit. He prefers fucking Universal. And the universe said, well, the price is 59 grand. Out of Chris's mouth, fuck no. I have money, but I am not throwing 59 grand to go in a fucking tube in the water just to see the wreck. You want to see the wreck? Go to a goddamn museum. They got freaking floating machines in the water showing the wreckage. You pay to go see it at a museum. You're seeing what it is. Let's see. I'm done with that. Let's see. Hopefully I can... Wait. Where the... Shit! Hold on. Fuck. Okay. I went to try to send it to Paramike and it fucking disappeared.
Yeah, that's not good.
Huh?
That's not good. That usually happens. Well, since you're trying to figure out something right there,
Oh, I found another one.
um, our Facebook page, facebook.com/EP Podcast Show 2021,
Yeah.
has reached 52 people
Yeah.
for all the posts that I've been putting up here, letting people know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're at 420%, which is good. Great. Green.
What, the statistics?
Yes.
Okay.
Or they call it the insights.
Yeah.
Post engagement 3 kind of fell. We're at
Huh?
80. We kind of fell for it. We're at 85%. But the page that's our page that has likes, 152, which is awesome.
Okay.
Let's see what else is there. Oh, here it is. Yep, from Christmas to the end of last year,
Yeah.
it was 151.
Okay.
There's a bunch of like page views was 49, posts reached 35,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Come on, you idiot! Oh, I hate when they give me double bars. Oh,
Did you ever upload episode 13 on Twitter yet?
yes, both
Okay.
of them are up.
I gotta share that when we're done.
Yeah. There was
Or I should
something
say,
else too.
retweet it.
Or something else too.
Due to
I'm
the fact
trying
that
to
got
figure
like
out
58 followers.
what it is. That's good. We have 179 followers on our Facebook page, which is great.
They need to start sharing it with everybody else.
They need to start giving us some paranormal stories. Help us out, guys. We would really appreciate it and everything.
Okay, this is kind of up your wheelhouse. Found this on MSN.
Uh-oh.
25 all-time punk rock characters. And I'm thinking they're singers. Hold on.
I'm not much of a punker.
The punk scene. Let's see. 25 all-time punk rock characters. The punk scene, both in the U.S. and the UK, was defined by its performers. They are some of the most they are musicians. Iconic musicians, sometimes in the loosest sense of the word.
Let's put it mildly.
Well, the person that wrote this article is called Tom Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know who it is, but anyway. Loose sense of the word in the history of entertainment. Whether it's the outlandish lifestyles, disturbing behavior on and off the stage, or a unique sense of fashion. I'm not sure about that. Look at Bon Jovi. Punk's characters are hard to forget. Let's see. Look at 25 of the scene's most interesting characters. And I'm going to elaborate. Okay. Since Paramike DJ'd, G.G. Allen. He's stinking.
Doesn't ring a bell.
To this day, there is no more true punk personality than G.G. Allen, who might very well have been the most dangerous musician on the planet, beginning in the late 1970s, until his death from an accidental heroin overdose, shocking, in 1993. Allen took shock rock to the extreme, times 100. From defacing on stage, basically cutting his head or whatever, fighting with fans, and continued threats of public suicide. Yeah. Allen was both disgusting, to put it mildly, and enthralling while performing with a number of obscure underground and hardcore punk bands. That's G.G. Allen.
Punk bands were not my thing when I was DJing and being on the radio was not something I would do.
We already mentioned this one. Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad enough that there was Christian punk bands at the time when I was on the radio, and that drove me bananas.
The leader of a band who opened the door for the pop punk takeover in the mid to late 90s, Billy Joe Armstrong has grown from immature Green Day frontman to multi-millionaire businessman. Can't beat fucking Chris. Bet you 10-1. He's battled substance abuse, okay, unleashed vocal tirades on stage, and flung mud at a crowd at Woodstock 99. Never violent, Armstrong's persona is like your goofball suburban neighbor. That would drive me fucking nuts! But you can't touch Chris Jericho.
Talk about mudding it up. Pun included.
Well, like I said, he can't touch Chris Jericho. Frontman of Fozzy.
No.
Steph Baders. I think that's what his name is. Steph Bader's career, most notably with the Dead Boys, was not as celebrated as that of other punk pioneers. But he helped usher in the early days of the genre in New York City's famed CBGB. What the hell does that mean? Known for his antics on stage, Baders was officially dead for a bit, following a hanging stunt while fronting the Lords of the New Church in the early 1980s. Nope. Sadly, he died from a brain injury suffered after reportedly being hit by a car in Paris in June 1990. Do they not have traffic laws in countries? Traffic laws, I mean. Pretty sure they do.
Don't know. I really didn't live in a country with my parents that long.
Okay. Okay. Giallo Biafora. Don't know either, but okay. Many credit the former Dead Kennedy singer as the most influential figure on the hardcore punk scene. From his politically charged lyrics to agitating persona, Giallo Biafora has never shied away from anything and continues to challenge the system via spoken word. This is a guy who also ran for mayor of San Francisco in the late 70s and survived the PMRC. Whatever the fuck that means. Okay. Glenn Danzig. Most Glenzers, that's basically how it says. Most Genzers, which is spelled Gen space and X ERS. No, Glenn Danzig from his solo work in the late 80s and into the 90s. But before Mother 93 became a MTV stable, the chiseled Danzig led the unappreciated punk outfit, The Misfits. If The Misfits were a film, they would be a horror B movie with a cult following. Danzig was and for the moment is in the forefront with his makeup, bulging biceps, and baritone voice. Baritone, okay. Biceps. Paramike, come here for a minute. Do those look like fucking ripping biceps to you?
They look like two flapping doggy doors with bumps.
Who ordered flapjacks? You ain't a bong in a blitz or smoking a pancake. Flapjacks. You want fucking rippling biceps? Go look at Frontman Fozzy. Yeah, I know. I'm promoting him a lot. One, I'm a fan of his, and two, he is a good singer.
Well, ripping biceps now is more like saggy biceps. Okay, I found a couple stories.
Okay. I gotta get a drink. Go ahead.
I think it was the last show we were talking about that stupid dangerous app, Ranonautica.
Yeah.
Well, I found something here. It says, what is Ranonautica really about?
Shoot.
Well, like I said before, and I keep saying it, that fucking thing is going to get people killed if they keep doing it and everything. But, hey, nobody listens to me. So, it goes, an app that generates coordinates for adventures claims to turn your thoughts into reality. Yeah, reality of getting killed and stalked by fucking whack jobs. TikTok and YouTube creators want you to believe it, but you shouldn't. This is what I've been saying. And yes, there's a lot of people that we watch on YouTube and we're subscribed to, and ones that we're not, we watch because it's just trying to get more interesting into it. This report came out last year on July 31st, 2020. The app led one person to a friendly dog in the desert and another to a field of wildflowers. One young woman, after making her college decision, followed the app to a field where her school's initials had been mowed into the grass. And then there were the friends who followed the app to a suitcase full of human remains. And because of that, I said in the last show, those people got arrested. That is the gamble one takes with Ranonautica, which claims to channel users' intentions to produce nearby coordinates for exploration. Think. The law of attraction meets geocaching. Okay. Ranonautica makes a few asks of users. Quote, and this is in quotations as a question. What would you like to get? Choose your entropy source. And yes, words are kind of hard for me. Before prompting them to focus on your intent while it fetches coordinates. This process relies on location settings and a random number generator, which, despite what the company says, cannot be directly affected by human thoughts. Yeah. That's a big-ass contradiction, folks. Many of the places users have been sent to since Ranonautica became available in February are unremarkable. parking lots, grasslands, many bodies of water. However, interest has been driven by the spooky and often synchronicity, randonauticing. Stories may have shared on social media, while several of them appear to be fake. Others have raised some cause for concerns. Yeah. Oops. I went a little far. The creators of Randonautica says the app has evolved beyond their intentions. But what were those intentions? For you idiots to fucking kill these people. That's the intentions of you fucking idiots. And then when you try to get questions about why they created this app, they never get back to you. It's happened already, and a few people on YouTube have said they've tried to contact Randonautica Associates and got nothing. A bunch of fake-ass motherfuckers. A brief history of Randonauticing. Before Randonautica, there were the Randonauts. Strangers who swept stories about their bot assets adventures into the unknown. They wanted to open their minds to the world around them and make meaning of life concedent. If you want that, just walk around, drive around, look with your eyeballs, listen with your ears, and then you'll have an adventure. The bot's code came from a group of programmers called the Fathom Project, who were interested in, among other things, using the technology to ensure the randomness of online gambling outcomes. Yeah, and they didn't think of, oh shit, maybe we might get somebody killed, somebody might get stalked, people could get arrested. Oh, we didn't think about that, but they gambled with it. The people that found the suitcase full of human body parts, yeah, they're still in jail today. JL29 discovered the Fathom Project on the messenger app Telegram in January of 2019 in a fringe science chat room. He absorbed the project's theories about how random exploration could break people out of their predicament or predetermined realities, and how people could influence random outcomes with their minds. Sorry, nobody has a fucking mind anymore. That went out the door years ago. Mr. Huh?
Or didn't exist.
That too. Mr. L, a former circus performer. Okay, so this guy is a fucking clown. Thought the code and its underlying ideas could be used to explore the relationship between consciousness and technology. In February of 2019, while caring for his father, who had just suffered a stroke, I can condone that, he created a Telegram bot that used the Fathom Project code to generate random coordinates. In March, he created the Randonauts Subriddle, which now has 125,000 members. And in October, a developer named SNMC, I can't pronounce his entire name, so I'm sorry, I'll just give you the letters, created a web page for the bot. That same month, AS, which is the COO, the chief executive of Presley Media,
Yeah.
an agency that creates brand integrations for TV, found the Rananaut on Reddit and offered to help Mr. L get word out. On January 24th, Miss S and Mr. L incorporated Rananauts LLC with her as COO, Chief Executive Officer, for you idiots that don't understand that,
Yeah.
and him as CEO. She remains the Chief Executive of Presley Media, which handles PR for Rananautica.
Yeah.
They released a beta version of the app on February 22nd. That was the first time the damn thing came out
Yeah.
for every single mobile device.
2020.
No, this was
The first app.
last year.
That's what I thought. That's what it said.
2019, when it first came out. Then it disappeared after a while, and then it came back at the end of 2019, or for 2020. That's why I didn't like the way the thing is. But yet, these people didn't realize what would happen to other people that are finding human body parts in fucking suitcases get arrested.
Or in a fucking coffin somewhere.
That too. And harassed, stalked, and whatever else. Since its release, Rananautica has been downloaded 10.8 million times from the App Store, which is Apple Play Store,
Yeah.
and Google Play Store, according to the research firm Sensor Tower. After a few months of rapid growth, much of it propelled by TikTok,
Shocking.
its downloads have started to taper off. According to data from the analytics firm App Annie, what a name.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bad cookie I don't want to eat at the mall. In an interview in July, Mr. L described Rananautica as a multimedia storytelling platform that encourages performance art. He said the overwhelming response has not surprised him. I wonder why, you idiot.
Fucking hackers. Which I still say that is taught when you're fucking college.
Yeah. Or people just learn on their own some other way. He says this in quote, "I kind of figured it was inevitable," he said. Because basically what it is like a machine that creates memes and legends. And it kind of virtually propagates on its own.
Yeah.
On social media, the most popular Rananautica videos featured eerie and seamlessly dangerous situations that are dramatized through editing. Some creators have capitalized on the trend by posting exaggerated or false accounts of their Rananautica adventures. The 27-year-old YouTuber JY, for instance, claimed to have been led to a crime scene. Mr. Y did not respond to multiple requests for comments. Yeah, because the bastard's probably traumatized from that shit. I bet you he threw his damn phone and said, "Fuck these people." Miss S denounced such videos in an interview with the YouTuber creator Bill's channel. In a phone interview this month, she spoke further about the pro-life ration of fake videos. It's so hard to manage because people are really taking creative liberties after seeing how much traction the app is getting in the fear factor, she said.
You want fear factor? Do ghost hunting.
I just can't believe she actually blurted out of her mouth that entire statement saying that the videos on YouTube of people using their fucking app are fake.
That's funny, because they show the fucking app right on their phones.
Yeah. But the video is saying that, people finding body parts in a suitcase is fake. People being stalked is fake. Tell that to the people that found the body parts from your stupid app in a suitcase, and that officer that was on the damn video. Tell him. I guarantee you, he'll slap you with his handcuffs and beat you down with his baton like the little cunt you are, and tell you you're a lying sack of shit. Your company's a fraud. I guarantee you that officer would say that. Because we've seen so many different videos. People are getting stalked from the app. People are finding body parts.
Yeah.
They're finding animal parts. And just recently...
CJ Faison found a fucking coffin.
Found a goddamn coffin.
And it was a legit coffin.
And it was 1,000% legit, because the police department that he called and he brought them out to the spot, and he explained what the app's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Even the cops want to do an investigation on this goddamn company. I say go for it.
Yeah.
Get everybody involved. Get the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA, the TAF, whatever. Get them and shut this motherfucker down and do the investigation. I'm all for it, and I would love to see a video of that goddamn thing.
That's probably why it went down originally, because of the investigation. Of a investigation. But due to the fact that now that there's hackers getting into the coordinates to jump somebody, that I know that can kind of get argued.
Yep.
Because of hackers.
Yeah.
And Jody, he's even mentioned it, like the intent of people that are hackers. Yeah, if they look at Jody, they're not gonna go, okay, this guy's a pussy, by the look at him.
Or he's a bullshit artist for what he's saying.
Yeah, he made a point. If the people that they ran across who are not upstairs,
or was never upstairs,
they would have been attacked.
Yeah, literally.
But yeah, they've had the shit scared out of them quite a few times, but they weren't physically attacked.
No.
My guess, the people that are trying to attack them, or supposedly attack, they don't know they're carrying. Well, one does.
Two does, actually.
No, when they were in St. Augustine, in Florida, on a little 2-day vacation, ran across another idiot.
Yep.
That hid behind a fucking dumpster.
Yep. And was chasing them.
I know. The fucker wasn't running too fucking good.
No. Like somebody already fucked him up the first time.
Well, the first time...
But I would have taken the damn vehicle and floated on his ass. That's what I would have done.
Speed bump.
Speed bump pop hole. So...
And the way I see it... If you're in a populated area, Florida, if it's during the day, yeah, you're going to see a couple of nut jobs, but there's too many people. If it's at night, the dead of fucking night, and there's like really nobody around. They're sketchy there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When do the nut jobs come out? Late at night, where there's barely nobody.
Yeah, and where do they normally hide or stay if they can't get into like an apartment or have a house or be in a shelter? Where are they all at? In the fucking woods.
Please don't bring that shit up.
So this goes on more. She says, so how does it work? Is the question. On first use, Rananaka offers a brief intro and some tips. Now this is in brackets.
Yeah.
With hyphens. Always Ranana with a charged phone.
Duh.
Never trespass.
Yeah.
Before prompting you to share your location.
I mean, there are assholes that'll use the app and trespass anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So those assholes deserve to get shot at.
And due to the fact that all cell phones have GPS in them.
Yeah.
And you can't shut that shit off.
No.
And then it goes on. Then it will ask you to choose which type of point you would like it to generate. The differences between which only matter if you believe the app can read your thoughts before fetching coordinates from a random number generator. The user can then open that location in Google Maps to begin the journey.
Yeah.
Rananautica throws big words like quantum and entropy around a lot.
Yeah.
Its creators believe that quantum random numbers are more likely to be influenced by human consciousness.
If they want to do like counting, look up the fucking at the stars at night and see how many of you can count.
Not a whole lot. Then non-quantum random numbers. That sounds like a contradiction there to me.
Yeah, it is.
This hypothesis is part of a theory Mr. L refers to as mind-machine interaction. And that's in quotations.
Yeah.
Or the short versions for all you hippies.
For people that like to do abbreviations.
MMI. It poses that when you focus on your intention, you are influencing the numbers. To me, that would be like you can telekinesis your mind to your fucking phone and just let it go do what it's got to do.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're looking for any kind of peer-reviewed scientific consensus that does not exist yet in the literature, Mr. L said in a TikTok video in June, speaking about the theory. Instead, he pointed to the work of Dr. a prominent figure in the pursued scientific field of parapsychology and the Princeton Engineering Anomalies Research, also known as PEAR.
Yeah.
Which is something you fucking eat, you just don't call it a pear. Program, which has cited Dr. R's research as evidence. Bullshit! Rananautica claims that a 1998 pear experiment supported the idea that people can control random number generations with their thoughts. Makes no sense. That study was published in the Journal of Scientific Exploration, which includes work about the paranormal, spirit possessions, poltergeists, and questions about Shakespeare's authorship. Or, I'm sorry, authorship.
Uh-huh. What the fuck does that have to do with Shakespeare?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. In the study, Pear's researchers wrote that the experiment was far from conclusive. In other words, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay, I'm gonna iterate a Shakespeare play, but in my words. To be a stupid idiot, or not be a stupid idiot?
That is the fucking question. Except I don't think there's plenty of amoebas out there would be able to answer that shit. They'll probably be listening to this show and be like,
Well, if you're familiar with Shakespeare and his theater plays, Hamlet has the line to be or not to be. That is the question. Mm-hmm. That's why I alliterated it to my version. To be a stupid idiot or not to be a stupid idiot.
Yeah.
That is the fucking question.
Yep. It looks like they saw some kind of calculation or correlation.
Yeah.
But they admit that it was weak. Mm-hmm. And it needed to have further research associated with it, said CS. Or C. Schwartz.
May the Schwartz be with you, assholes. You bring the amoebas.
That was the worst Yoda.
Yes, it was. Holy crap. An experimental psychiatric and assistant professor at U College. I would say this, but I think people might fall off their seats.
Yeah.
Because I know the planet.
Yeah.
I know how people in medical professions say it.
Yeah.
To patients. But I didn't know there was a college called this.
What?
Uranus College. It's just that there's no A in it, but it's the same way. Who reviewed Rananautica's claim for this article. She said she did not know of any quantum system that could be influenced by human thoughts.
Yeah.
The bitch just contradicted herself. When she said, there was a quantum system out there for human thoughts to act with the app. And in here, you're like, no, I don't think so. That thing goes on and on and on. This is a long ass story with freaking things in.
I'll give you a break. Continue with 25 punk rock star actors, or characters, whatever. Yeah. HR.
Before you start, due to the fact that this story is like huge and it goes on even further, and one person saying, "Do not go ranonauticing."
Yeah.
And this is a 21-year-old.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
From Orange County, California.
Okay.
And this person did a video on TikTok in early June, and everything. And he puts in quotes here, "I deleted the app right after that and never used it again since," said in an interview in July. So something really got to this person to where it was traumatic for him to say that.
Yeah.
But I'll save the story on the laptop, and then I'll put a link onto our website, and you guys can read the rest of it, or start from the beginning again and read all the way through.
Yeah.
But I'm throwing this out to each and every one of you blabbering idiots. and people would know amoebas for brain cells. Once you read this entire story and you do more research on this app, I want you guys to email the show, everythingparanormal2021 at gmail.com, and I want your thoughts, and I'll read your thoughts on this podcast show. If you don't want to do an email, but you want to call in, you can. It is free. You can call in as many times as you want, because I don't know how the damn system's set up, and I can't make it go longer for timing.
Yeah,
but just keep
probably like 3 minutes or something.
Remember where you left off when you call back and continue on. That number is 724-856-0031. Again, 724-856-0031. That is our dark line number to this podcast show.
Anyway, back to punk rock characters. HR hits number 7 for this list. He was born Paul Hudson, but was better known as HR, in other words, Human Rights, the front man of Bad Brains, on the early groups of the hardcore punk scene. Or one of the early groups, sorry. Bad Brains concerts were an experience, by all accounts. With HR the focal point, his unique, diverse vocal stylings were on display within the frame of this often complex individual. Doesn't really give us much of a thing. Number 8, Kathleen Hanna. The original Riot Girl, of course, girl spelled G-R-R-R-L. Kathleen Hanna helped bring commercial feminism to young punk rock girls looking for an outlet. Her band, Bikini Kill, never heard of her, led the neo-feminist punk movement of the 1990s, with Hannah as its poster girl. While still performing, Hannah also remains a prominent activist and writer. She has been married to the Beastie Boys' Adam Ad-Rock Horowitz since 2006. And by looking at her, Okay. Next we have Debbie Harry. The Rock and Roll... Sorry. Take a drink of stubble. The Rock and Roll Hall of Famer started as a folk singer and made her money on the new wave scene with Blondie. But make no mistake, Debbie Harry was and still is a true punk. Part of the regulars at CBGB, Harry had the looks of a model, an attitude to hang with even the raunchiest boys of the punk scene. An icon in the true sense of the word. Debbie Harry.
God, that bitch could scare a fucking sleeping goat straight.
I don't remember hearing the Debbie Harry being with Blondie. Unless that is Blondie.
I don't even know Blondie's real name, but I do know that she is that ugly. She could scare a sleeping goat straight.
Joan Jett. Number 10. While the Runaways were a true rock band, and her backing group, the Black Hearts, were early pop rock regulars on MTV, when MTV was actually watchable, Joan Jett certainly harbors punk tendencies, even to this day. But looking at her outfit, okay, but could have found something better. I mean, in the picture I'm looking at, she's wearing, like, I want to call like a red pleather top with black pleather on it and fucking silver studs.
Yeah, she went for two different versions and tried to make it into one for her image.
Yeah. It don't look like a good image from what I'm looking at. I like red and black, but not in pleather. This can be seen mostly with her attitude and confidence as a modern day riot girl. Again, you have to spell girl GRRL. Sounds like the goddamn goose from Charlotte's Web. And I mean
that or somebody's keyboard got stuck on one letter.
no, that's an actual. I think an actual thing. But I mean, if I hear a letter of a word, and the other letters are fucking double or triple, I'm thinking of fucking goose in the original Charlotte's Web. She always, Joan Jett, always felt she could hang musically with the boys. And she proved it. The Hall of Famer remains a feminist captain, a philanthropist, take a drink of stubble, philanthropist, activist, and multimedia entertainer, who's while still owning the bad reputation.
That's Joan Jett.
Which is where fucking Ronda Rousey got her theme song.
That's Joan Jett, right?
Jerry Only.
That's Joan Jett, right?
Joan Jett, yeah. I don't know when she became a Hall of Famer for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but yeah.
She's originally from here.
Yeah.
In this state. She moved to L.A., California. She was born September 22nd, 1958. She's 62 years old.
Yeah.
Birth name was Joan Marie Larkin.
Yeah.
She's been active since 1975 as a singer, songwriter, composer, musician, record producer,
Yeah.
actress.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing her in any fucking movies.
Neither have I. Let's see. Blackheart, Epic, Boardwalk, MCA. God, there's a company I've ever heard in a long time. CBS.
One question. What do you call Pat Benatar? She came up in the same era.
I don't know. I wasn't really much of a Pat Benatar person.
Yeah, me neither.
Polydor, Warner Brothers, Mercury,
yeah.
And I can't say the other two because I've never heard of them. Associated acts is The Runaways, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, Evil Stag was the other one.
Yeah.
Career, solo career.
Okay. Have you heard of Jerry Only?
No.
Okay. Explain, because there's a little bit of wrestling stuff in here. Jerry Only is often overshadowed by Misfits bandmate Glenn Danzig. But the punk band's status as a cult favorites wasn't done by one man. He has kept the legacy of the group going as the only consistent member, and even pushing 60, is still sporting the macabre makeup and hair on stage. He had a brief foray into the world of professional wrestling, and reportedly was with Sid Vicious the night he died. If you don't know who the fuck Sid Vicious is, you're fucking dumb. If you know wrestling and you don't know who Sid Vicious is, you really don't know shit.
Okay, now hold on for a second there.
Huh?
Hold on for a second on that one. Let me see something.
I mean, I know who Sid Vicious is.
I do too. There he goes. Okay. No, he's still alive.
Yeah, he is.
We're talking about the wrestler, right?
Sid Vicious, yeah.
From WCW.
Yeah. He was also in,
He's still alive. He's not dead.
He was also in Alcatraz. For, like, briefly.
Yeah.
As
no,
Psycho Sid.
Yeah. No, he's not dead. He's still alive. He's 60 years old.
Okay, so it had to been, had to been Jerry Only then. That, the articles talked about.
Let's see.
Because that definitely makes no sense.
Is his last name spelled O-N-L-I?
L-Y, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. Go to him now.
Paramike's looking up Jerry Only.
He's still alive too.
Okay.
He's 61 years old. He's originally from New Jersey. He's horror punk,
Okay.
punk rock, and heavy metal.
Okay.
He's been active since 1977. And
Must be talking about Jerry Danzig then. I don't know.
He's the lead singer of Misfits.
Yeah.
Let's look for the other one. D-A-N... What's the last one?
Huh?
What's his last name?
Who?
Dan?
Jerry Danzig, D-A-N-Z-I-G.
Jerry... D-A what? N...
I mean, I have to go back to it. Hang on. Yeah, Glenn Danzig.
Oh, Glenn Danzig. Okay, hold on. Is that with one N or two N's?
One.
I have two N's here. D-A-N-Z-I-G? That's how you spell his last name?
Yes, D-A-N-G-I-Z-I-G.
Okay, they have it here with two N's.
People are stupid.
Oh, he's still alive too.
I have no idea then who they're talking about.
He's also from New Jersey as well. And he is not a wrestler.
No, he's not. I have no idea who the fuck you're talking about in that article then. Iggy Pop. What's perhaps most impressive about the often dubbed punk bleh. Take a drink of stubble. What's perhaps most impressive about the often dubbed Godfather of Punk is that Iggy Pop's abs are still as tight today in his 70s as they were back in the 1960s. While fronting his Hall of Fame band, the Stogies, it was common for Pop to cut or expose himself on stage. It's strange to see him wearing shirts, and more than a few people think he's the father of fellow shirtless frontman Anthony Kiedis of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know. By looking at him, he does look like the singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers. I don't know. Dee Dee Ramone. Any follower of punk could still hear Dee Dee Ramone's famed blistering 1, 2, 3, 4 count off before each Ramones song. Originally, the band's singer, Dee Dee, born Douglas Colvin, stuck to the bass and was one of the band's most prolific songwriters. Okay, here's a shock. However, heroin consumed his life and ultimately claimed it from an overdose in June 2002. Like I said, shocker.
Yeah.
Joey Ramone. Hold on.
Any relations?
Hold on. The look, 6'6", real thin, real as in, rail thin, pale, ripped jeans, black curly hair, leather jacket, and sunglasses. Yeah, I'm looking at him. I don't see no curly hair. I see black hair. Joey Ramone was, and probably still is, the most recognizable icon from the punk genre in the U.S. He was also perhaps the most beloved. Born Jeffrey Hyman, the late Ramones frontman, has a street named after him in New York City, and has been paid tribute to in countless songs before and after his death in 2001 from lymphoma. Ooh. Okay, so he died of cancer. Yeah, let's see. Okay. Johnny Ramone. This might be a whole family. Though just as revered as Dee Dee and Joey for his work with the Ramones, Johnny Ramone, born John Cummings, was usually stoic and all business on stage. Off of it, he was a staunch conservative and had a strained relationship with Joey Ramone, even up to the singer's 2001 death, due to the infamous love triangle that also included the woman who would become Johnny's wife. One of punk's most powerful guitarists, Johnny died from prostate cancer in 2004.
Ooh.
There has to be a whole fucking family. Lou Reed. Lou Reed's relationship with punk is more indirect than most. His work with the Velvet Underground related more to what would be known as alternative, proto-punk, and new wave, but his overall musical offerings still had elements of that raw punk sound. What Reed certainly had was the punk attitude, though in a more rebel without a cause way. The sunglasses, the disdain for authority, and his openness regarding addiction. Yeah, looking at him, yeah, he's a looker. Not. Henry Rollins. No, not someone related to Seth Rollins either. That stupid ass hat. Henry Rollins. From his straight edge roots with Black Flag to mainstream success via the Rollins Band to his current prominence over all mediums. Henry Rollins might be the most mature and educated punk on the planet. Nope, not saying it. Whether he's barking and screeching through his music, or preaching as a public speaker, well, that would have turned me off. Rollins remains a captivating character. He's also not afraid to poke fun at himself. Okay, if you poke fun at yourself, okay. Hell, Jericho does it all the time. Johnny Rotten. Perhaps nobody fits stereotypical description of punk. From an attitude and fashion standpoint, than John Lydon, aka Johnny Rotten. He was the main face of the Sex Pistols. an agitator, and troublemaker, but a trendsetter who plays the part of a punk to perfection. Rotten seemed to know what he was doing all along, and he still remains one of the most recognizable entertainers and celebrities today. Remember, he's not an anarchist, he only plays one on TV. Okay, I'm gonna end up butchering this one. Seosi Ziox. In other words, Siouzsie. Last one spelled Sioux. Before fronting alternative favorites, Suwaxi and the Banshees. Suwaxi Sioux lived the punk lifestyle as a devoted follower of the Sex Pistols. She challenged authority at an early age. It was part of the Sex Pistols' infamous 1976 appearance on Bill Grundy's famed British talk show. She's still going strong today with that same punk attitude and trendy fashion awareness, though in a more grown-up way. I wouldn't say fashion awareness. It's pathetic. Patti Smith. Often called the godmother of punk, Patti Smith provided a poet's approach to the genre. She had the attitude to feel at home within the punk movement in New York City, but the talent to become a major influence, still to this day, on musicians across all genres. In fact, her greatest characteristic remains her confidence in her work and herself. She could at least pick new, better outfits. Seriously. Joe Strummer. Up there with Johnny Rotten. Joe Strummer provided the other prominent face of British punk rock in the late 1970s. However, Strummer and The Clash had longevity despite the band's own various levels of dysfunction. A musical and lyrical punk trendsetter, Strummer was not afraid to mix it up with fans and was a dominating, sometimes combustible, personality within his own band. Strummer died at 50 from a heart defect that was not diagnosed. Ooh, that sucks. Leaving a legacy that's as strong as ever. Okay. Number 22. Getting down to the wire here. Polystyrene. I might have butchered the last name, but sorry. Before there was Kathleen Hanna, there was biracial Polystyrene. Carried the torch for feminist punks in the late 1970s. First as the lead singer of X-Ray Pex, then during her solo career. Styrene wore brightly colored clothes and sported braces on her teeth. Let's take a little look at her. Yeah, she did. Her wail would be piercing, but it still offered some impressive range that would blow away her male counterparts. I doubt it. Styrene, was still alive until her 2011 death from breast cancer at 53. Johnny Thunders. David Johansen, not Johansen singer, but Johansen written. The last name's not the same as Scarlett Johansson. It's just Johansen. Might have been the more recognizable member of the New York Dolls. Never heard of him. But Johnny Thunders arguably is the most influential. While Johansson has enjoyed some modest pop and acting success, Thunders stayed true to his punk roots with the Heartbreakers. Not Tom Petty's band. His riffs remained dirty and raw, just like the early days of the Dolls. In true punk fashion, Thunder's 1991 apparent drug-related death at age 38 remains a mystery. '24. David Vanian. And look at him, yeah, he is a bit of punk, just by the makeup on him. Punk is not goth, just throwing that out there. And if I just heard a lot of oohs from people who thought punk was the same as goth, no. David Vanian, though the Sex Pistols are credited with initiating the punk scene in the UK, David Vanian and The Damned were actually the first such band from across the pond to cut a single. Influenced by art and horror films, Vanian conveyed those influences through music and his own persona within The Damned. Vanian, however, is also known for being extremely private. A somewhat punk characteristic for a punk. Not really. Okay. Oh my god. Sid Vicious. And I hope I'm not looking at him. Because this motherfucker's scrawny. According to punk lore...
That's not the wrestler.
That I know.
This is the punk musician.
I hope the wrestler was able to get that nickname in WCW. According to punk lore, Sid Vicious was in the running to front The Damned. Circumstances surrounding him not getting the gig created Vicious's disdain for the group and singer David Vanian. Oh, a little jealous, are we? Vicious even tried to attack the band at one point during the show. One thing you don't do, and it's a band on stage and they're really good, you don't try to attack them. Whether you're in the fucking band or not. You attack anybody that's performing. In the band or not, you deserve to get your ass kicked. A couple occasions in wrestling, I stopped attacks because fucking security was just staying around doing fucking nothing. Or too fucking fat to move. Vicious even... Okay, I read that line. That was just one example of Vicious's off-the-rails behavior. Usually fueled, shocker, by drugs. Of course, there was his involvement in the 1978 death of girlfriend Nancy Spungen. Vicious died from a heroin overdose shortly after while out on bail at age 21. There's a shocker. Last one for this, and I got one more for the day. Wendy O. Williams. A former Oh, God. She's a fucking stripper. To me, it looks like a fucking stripper. A former sex show performer. Are we getting a little prudish as when it comes to saying strippers? Or is that freaking... or is that porn stars? Wendy O. Williams became queen of the underground punk scene in New York City. She was loud, brash, and utterly inappropriate. Her band... I can't believe this is a band. The Plasmatics? Was never really known for its music, but for Williams' stage antics. Though she was nominated for a Grammy in 1985. Usually half naked on stage, Williams would smash TVs with a sledgehammer, jigsaw guitars, and blow up the occasional automobile. Following some failed attempts at suicide, Williams fatally shot herself in April 1998 at age 48. Ew. Yeah, looking at her, makes me want to throw up. Okay. Last story for today, even though it's going to be a little bit a long one. Record-breaking musicians from the last decade and the records they broke. The music world is full of numbers and matrix. Top-selling albums, most played singles, and biggest chart-topping hits. Musicians and industry folks are constantly tallying the figures up, eager to determine who's the hottest icon of the moment. According to Billboard's Top 10 Hot 100 Artists of All Time, 1958 through 2018, the Beatles ranked at the top as the top artist of all time, followed by Madonna at number 2, and Elton John at number 3. Beyond the artists, songs have their own records, often unique ones. The song Stay, for example, by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs, which topped the Hot 100 list for a week in 1960, is the shortest number 1 hit of all time, running at just 1 minute and 38 seconds.
That's the shortest concert I've ever seen.
As far as albums are concerned, oh, here we go. As far as albums are concerned, Michael Jackson holds the best-selling studio album of all time with 1982's Thriller, which has sold an impressive 47.3 million certifiable copies, claiming actual sales at over 66 million. This number is significantly higher than the next best-selling studio album, Shania Twain's 1997 country pop album, Come On Over. Which kind of states my argument with Paramike here. Shania Twain may have been a really good singer, but Michael Jackson beats her ass.
Not in the looks category.
So what? Looks don't fucking matter if you're in the fucking top. And that's what she said, literally.
No, but downstairs said something different for her.
Which kind of proves the point. for some people who want to still call him a fucking pedophile, even after he died. The millions of dollars that he made on just that fucking album alone proved people wanted the fucking money. And parents who are guilty of trying to do that are going to hell.
Yep. And speaking of that, Neverland
Yeah.
was sold.
Come again?
Neverland Ranch
Yeah.
was sold.
Who fucking sold it?
I don't know.
I thought his sister owned it.
I don't know. I did see that article a couple of days ago, but for some reason it disappeared off my computer. But yeah, Neverland Ranch got sold
Let's see if you can find the story. We can do it the next episode.
for a massive amount.
Fuck. Hearing that, I automatically think in Zach.
Nope.
It wasn't Zach that bought it?
Nope. That I do remember seeing. There was no mention of him in it whatsoever.
Damn. Anyway, continuing. But it hasn't only been classic icons like Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson who've made musical waves. The last decade has seen tons of new stars rising and breaking records, too, such as Katy Perry, Drake, Ed Sheeran, or Sheeran, however you want to pronounce it, Cardi B, Taylor, a slut Swift. If you look at her, that's what you're seeing. I don't know what anyone else sees. And others. The two youngest chart toppers of all time are from the past decade. Rihanna was the youngest female solo artist at 23 to have a song in the top 10 for at least 200 weeks. While Justin, I'm a Dumbass Bieber, I'm happy bleeding some of that, was the youngest male at 25. Which proves a girl can beat his motherfucking ass. To honor the stars of the past 10 years, Stacker has put together a gallery of the most record-breaking musicians of the past decade and the impressive records they set. Let's see what we got. Okay, Rihanna, female artist with the most #1 singles in a calendar year. In 2010, after release of her fourth studio album, Rated R. Would that be a counterfeit infringement? Wrestler Edge was Rated R. Now this bitch comes out with an album called Rated R?
That's different.
Oh.
That's way different. That's not copyright infringement.
Okay.
Because her album's name is Rated R.
Yeah.
Edge, a.k.a. Adam Copeland, he was the Rated R superstar.
Oh yeah, he was raunchy.
So that's not a copyright infringement whatsoever.
Rihanna broke a music industry record by becoming the first woman solo artist in history to produce 4 #1 hits in a single calendar year. The songs included Rude Boy, Only Girl in the World, What's My Name? It sounds, that sounds like a song from the fucking, Descendants 2. I'm dead serious, that's exactly what the song is in that movie. What's My Name? And Love the Way You Lie. Number 3, Ed Sheeran, first artist to debut 2 top 10 songs the same week. January 2017, English singer, songwriter Ed Sheeran became the first artist to ever debut 2 top 10 hits within the same week. This impressive record occurred with Shape of You and Castle on the Hill. When the former soared the number 1, with the latter hit number 6 on the Billboard list. A few months later, Drake became the second person to do this, a fate he later matched and then eventually surpassed. Here we go. Ariana Grande. First time since 1964, one artist accompanied top 3 slots. February 2019, pop diva Ariana Grande achieved a feat that no one had accomplished since the Beatles in 1964. She had a song occupying the top 3 slots of Billboard's Top 100. As thank you. Next, hit number 3, it joins Break Up With Your Girlfriend on Board at number 2, and 7 Rings at number 1. The latter of which was in its 4th week occupying the space. Okay. I don't know who the fuck these people are, but hold on. Louis Fonsi and Davey... Oh, God. Louis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee. Song with most weeks at number 1. Louis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee made history in 2017 when their mega hit single Despacito.
Despacito.
Despacito. Okay. Which also featured Justin Amadeus Bieber, tied Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men for the longest run in the number 1 slot. The catchy reggaeton-influenced pop song held the top spot on the coveted Billboard list for 16 weeks in a row, a feat that only 2 other artists had ever achieved. In 2019, Lil Nas X beat the record with 19 weeks for Old Town Road.
Yeah, and his singing partner was Miley Ray Cyrus's father.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus singing Old Town Road.
Anyway, Katy Perry tied for the most number 1 singles from one album. Katy Perry's 2010 party album Teenage Girl made history that year when it became the second time that any record produced 5 number 1 hits. The only other time came in 1987 when Michael Jackson had 5 top hits on Bad. The songs that made the list included the title track Teenage Dream, Katy Perry, as well as California Girls,
featuring Snoop Dogg,
Firework, E.T., that extraterrestrial, and Last Friday Night, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Okay. This douchebag here I'm looking at. Extentation. 3 big ass X's. Tentacion. Posthumous Humas, or however you want to fucking say that word, song becomes #1 Billboard hit. 2018, Extentation joined the short list of only 8 artists in history who've had a single become a #1 hit posthumously with his emo rap hit Sad. Shows I'm not much into rap. Prior to the Florida rapper, well, he's from Florida. The most recent example had been in 2008, when Louisville record producer Static Major made the list for his performance on Lil Wayne's auto-tune heavy hit Lollipop. Others have included Otis Redding, Janis Joplin, Jim Croce, John Lennon, Soulja Slim, and Notorious B.I.G.
You see the picture?
Huh?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And, of course, who some people think she's a fucking alien, Beyonce. Most Grammys won in one night by a female artist. When I Am Sasha Fierce swapped the record show in 2010, Beyonce's third solo studio album garnered her the most Grammy Awards won, 6 in total. In one night by a female artist, though Adele later tied her. In 2014, Beyonce passed Dolly Parton as the most Grammy-nominated woman of all time, a title she still holds. Wait a minute. Even though this person has been dead, Selena. She fucking won more than won more than 6 Grammys.
Right.
So how the fuck does Beyonce pass Selena?
I don't know.
Oh, I know why. In the words of Bianca Del Rio, Selena is dead.
Selena's dead.
Drake. Most simultaneous, hot #1 hits. Hot 100 hits. In July 2018, Drake hit the record for the most songs in the Billboard Top 10 at once with 7 tracks. The Beatles had previously held the record since 1964 with 5 entries. The previous year, the Canadian rapper Tide then beat Ed Sheeran for the most debut top 10 hits the same week with 4 songs. He is also tied with Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen, and Janet Jackson, sister of Michael Jackson, if anybody doesn't know, for having the most top 10 singles from one album, with Scorpion, which had 7. And looking at this bitch, I want to puke. Taylor, I'm a slut Swift. And by looking at her, if there's guys out there who think she's hot, probably because of what she wears. And kind of doesn't look like she's a real blonde. Looks like she dyes it. Taylor Swift, female artist with the most hot 100 hits at the same time. Country pop star Taylor, I'm a Wannabe Pop Star Swift, broke the record September 7, 2019, when she dominated the charts with an impressive 18 songs on the Billboard Hot 100 list. The double-digit number remains the record among female artists for the most simultaneous entries on the coveted list. She beat singer-songwriter Billie Eilish, who boasted 14. Swift, also the female musician with the most top 10 debuts, with 15, just behind Drake, who holds the overall record of 20. Kelly Clarkson, biggest jump to number 1. 2009, pop singer Kelly Clarkson leaped from 97th place to the top slot on the Billboard Top 100 list, marking the biggest jump in history with the song My Life Would Suck Without You. Okay. Nicki Minaj, most Billboard Hot 100 songs of any female artist. 2017, Nicki Minaj surpassed soul queen Aretha Franklin when she became the musician with more top 100 hits than any other female solo artist in history. 2012, the New York Times called Minaj the most influential female rapper of all time. Lady Gaga, most conservative weeks in the UK, top 75. In 2010, Lady Gaga's smash debut album, The Fame, which was released in 2008, passed Oasis' previous UK record for the most conservative weeks in the top 75, when it hit 154 weeks in a row. The following year, Guinness World Records announced she was the most searched for female on the internet, standing in company with the King of Pop, Michael Jackson, who was the most searched for male that year. Post Malone. And looking at us, he's even more of a dumbass. But then he also wanted to get in, kind of mingle in Zach Bagans' world.
Well, he does believe in the paranormal.
Yeah, but he became a bitch as soon as Zach invited him to his museum. And Zach wanted to open the box.
Yeah, which wasn't aired. It would have been funny though if it was aired.
Huh?
It would have been funny if that thing was aired.
I know.
But it wasn't.
Post Malone, most consecutive weeks on top 10 R&B and hip-hop albums. 2018, Post Malone's album, Stoney. Looking at him, you can tell he's stony. Which was released in 2016, claimed the all-time record for consecutive weeks in the top 10 charts at a whopping 77 weeks. The next year, he matched his own record for the album Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
I like that title.
Cardi B, first female to win Best Rap Album Grammy. After her wildly popular multi-platinum debut album, Invasion of Privacy, was released in April 2018, reality star turned rapper Cardi B won the Grammy Award for Best Rap Album, making her the only female solo artist to have ever nabbed the award. The album contained her breakout hit, Bodak Yellow, which made her the second solo female rapper to have ever had a #1 Billboard Top 100 hit after following Lauryn Hill in 1998. I want to step up my eyeballs. Miley fucking I'm a dumbass Cyrus. No wait, Miley I was Disney Princess Cyrus. First female on the Billboard charts under 3 different names. What that means is, hold on. When Miley Cyrus entered the Billboard Top 100 under the name Ashley O, and it's just the letter O, the moniker she used for music recorded for the sci-fi TV series Black Mirror. It made her the first female in history to have ever had a top 100 hit under 3 different names. Ashley O, Hannah Montana, and Miley Cyrus. The pop singer has broken other records in the past too, including in 2013 when her video for Wrecking Ball broke Vivo's 24-hour viewing record. Oh shit, she acts like a fucking fool. What do you expect? Adele. Fastest selling album of all time in the US. In 2015, English singer-songwriter Adele beat Instinct's 2000 No Strings Attached, when 25 became the United States' fastest selling album since officials began tracking numbers. The pop singer's third studio album sold over 3.38 million copies during its first week of sales, claiming the biggest single week figures since Nielsen SoundScan began them in 1991.
That would fit perfect for
Bye, bye, bye.
After an impressive, Lil Nas X song with most weeks spent at #1. After an impressive 19 weeks at the #1 slot on Billboard's Top 100, Lil Nas X set the all-time record in 2019 for most consecutive weeks for Old Town Road. Prior to that, the record was 16 weeks, which was shared by Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men, as well as Louis Fonsi and Daddy Yankee featuring Justin I'm a Dumbass Bieber. Mariah Carey, first holiday song in 60 years to hit top 5. Although Mariah Carey is better known for breaking music records in the 90s, she hit another milestone in 2019 when All I Want for Christmas made history at #3 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking the first time a holiday song had broken the top 5 in 60 years. It was also the second time a holiday song had ever hit #3. Unfortunately, the song later produced another record when it dropped off the list completely from its #3 ranking, marking the biggest single week drop from the Hot 100 list ever.
And that's a song that is played every year in December.
Justin I'm a Dumbass Bieber. First artist with 7 songs from a debut album to hit Hot 100. Justin I'm a Dumbass Bieber has broken several records, but one of the most notable came early in his year with his debut album, My World. The massively popular record made him the first musician ever to have 7 songs from a debut record score a spot on the Billboard Hot 100 list. Okay, last one is Izzo. Best-selling female rap album so far in bleh. Let me rewind. Take a drink, I stumbled. Lizzo, best-selling female rap album so far in 2019. The year isn't over yet. Well, now it is. However, emerging megastar Lizzo looked on the road to success in October when her album 'Cause I Love You surpassed Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy and Nicki Minaj's Queen, both of which were previously holding sales records for best-selling female rap albums of 2019.
Just had a little note on Justin Bieber about breaking records for
Uh-huh.
the Billboard charts. That's not the only thing he's breaking records on. He's also breaking records on expensive cars
Yeah.
that he destroys. But was that the last one?
Hang on.
Because I'm getting hungry.
You hang on a minute?
Just letting you know. Well, whatever Paralore is doing, just to let you guys know that Ghost Adventures is doing a premiere on January 4th of this year, brand new 2021, at a hotel that they have investigated, and it is being brought to you on a streaming app called Discovery Plus by the Discovery Company and everything. So stay tuned for the premiere of January 4th, 2020 for the Ghost Adventures crew, the 4 main tough dudes of all time, for their special on this hotel, which I can't pronounce the name, but I can spell it. It's CECIL Hotel. So stay tuned for that on the 4th. That should be a good one. Hopefully YouTube will have it up there soon so we can watch it.
Uh-huh.
And hopefully somebody doesn't fuck it up. Every time we watch Ghost Adventures on YouTube, some of them are normal, like if you're watching it on TV, and the other ones are just like all fucked up. Either the video lags or the fucking sound is fucked up, or the video's like way too close. You can actually see up almost Zach, Aaron's, Billy, and Jay's nose. I mean, if I'm lying, please tell me, because I know I'm not. What else is there? Make sure you keep up with us on our website, everythingparanormal.gear.host/ep.html. I post the recorded shows up there, and which is kind of different. Some are the same. For the 13th episodes that we've done, it's all the same. I haven't added anything new to it, to make it more funnier and stuff like that. And check us out on our YouTube page as well, which there is a link in the little share button that looks like an atom with legs. Just go down there and just click on to the YouTube button, and it'll bring you directly to our YouTube page. Become a subscriber, listen to the show, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and make sure you hit all the notification bells when a new episode is uploaded on YouTube.com. from us.
Okay.
We done?
Yep.
All right. That will do it for us. We'll try to do another episode, probably episode 15. I got some news on Skinwalker Ranch,
Okay.
which is something I didn't know about until I found it. So that's going to be for the next episode, and whatever else Paralore has left in her
I got plenty.
in her system that she's going to be talking about. So that'll do it for me, Paramike.
I'm Paralore.
And you've been listening to Everything Paranormal Podcast Show 2021. And the both of us say, Happy New Year's and enjoy 2021. And let's not make it a fucking shitstorm like it was in 2020.
Bye.
I can't believe I can't still figure out this computer system.
Huh?